Okay, the manager's here to take your questions on the game. If you'd like to raise your hand. Is there a microphone or?
Hi, Ralf. In the first half, you seemed quite proactive, played quite well. The second half, Roy Keane said it was shameful how the team played, and it seemed like City were a lot superior. Were you surprised at the drop-off performance in the second half?
Well, as you said, I think we played a good first half, but we were still 2-1 down. So it was clear that in the second half we still had to try and score 1 or 2 goals in order to have a chance to at the end win the game. We didn't. It was in the second half difficult for us to keep them away from our own goal, and so we then decided to bring on Marcus Rashford and Jesse Lingard, 2 offensive players, one of the few offensive players we had available today. And then they scored a brilliant goal after a corner. I must say, difficult to defend that one. And from then on, it was a very difficult, frustrating game for us, because if you keep chasing them up high up in the pitch in their half, you take the risk to concede another 1, 2, if not 3 goals.
Simon, the shout.
What did you make of the character of your side and the attitude in the second half? Because it's something that's come up time and time again.
To be honest, I didn't have the impression that they didn't try. But as I said, it's difficult against a team like Man City. Once you are 3-1 down, the best team in possession of the ball on the planet, it's difficult. I cannot blame anyone for not having tried and putting effort into that game. But it was, as I said, difficult after the 3rd goal.
Does that show how far behind Manchester City are?
I mean, after 28 games, you're as far apart from each team as the table shows it. We knew that it was a difficult game to come up for us. I think we did well in the first half tactically. We had our moments. We could have scored 1 or 2 more goals in the first half, but we didn't. And in the end, it's obvious that obviously they won the game, and they deserve to win the game. And for us, it's now to look ahead and make sure that we play 2 good home games against Tottenham and against Atletico, and hopefully win those 2 games.
An unusual formation. Do you think we'll see that again?
Well, we didn't have that many strikers available for the game today, and for us the question was, do we play with Marcus to start with, or do we play with a false 9 like Bruno and have one more central midfielder on the pitch to make sure that we can win balls there and have enough players? It was clear that they will always try to create numerical superiority in the middle of the pitch, and that's why I decided to play with Bruno as a false 9.
Right, Rob. Do you think that a game like today shows the amount of work that you have, not only now as a manager, but in your future role above the football structure in the club?
To be honest, I knew that before that game, so I wouldn't have needed that game to be aware of that. But for now, it's about developing the team, finishing the season as well as we possibly can. And all the other things are issues that need to be spoken about and hopefully developed at the end of the season in the next transfer window.
Okay, last 2 questions, David and Mark.
Hi, Ralf.
I'm sorry.
Do you have enough character in this team?
Sorry.
Ralf, could you clear up?
And you have players that are willing to fight for the team?
Yes.
Ralf, could you clear up Cristiano Ronaldo's absence? Some
Sorry.
suggestions.
Sorry, Mike, you need to turn off.
Can you just clear up any confusion over Cristiano Ronaldo's absence? I think you said to MUTV it was a hip injury, but some people have been saying that he just didn't fancy playing. Roy Keane said it didn't add up. Can you let us know
what
why?
did Roy Keane say? Sorry?
He said it didn't add up. He said his hip injury didn't add up. He said he didn't believe it, effectively.
Roy Keane didn't believe he had a hip injury, they're saying.
Well, I have to believe my medical department. Our doctor came to see me a Friday morning before training and told me that Cristiano cannot train because of some problems with his hip flexor. And the same was true on Saturday, and that's why he couldn't be part of the squad.
Okay,
just on Cavani, how frustrating is it for you? That's, I think, the 6th game in a row he's missed. And you said before the game that he didn't feel like he could play. How frustrating is it when you have a player like that who could have made a difference today who basically decides.
What does it help if I tell you it's frustrating? It's just a fact. If players tell the doctor and the medical department that they're injured and cannot play, I have to accept it as a manager. I cannot force a player to play if he thinks he's not available because he has an injury.
The fans are getting frustrated, particularly with Cavani, because it doesn't seem that he decides when he plays effectively, and I think that's what frustrates fans.
Look, Eddie trained in the last 3 days. He trained well, but he still felt after those 3 training sessions yesterday afternoon that he's still not fit to play. This is a fact, and as a manager, I mean, I cannot force a player to play if he doesn't feel fit enough and well enough in order to play.
Okay, Mark, last question.
Ralf, you said earlier on that you kind of knew what the job entailed, how difficult the job would be.
Could you speak a little louder, sorry?
You said when you arrived you knew how difficult the job would be. After this defeat, you're 22 points behind Man City. There's have to be a sense of realism at the club that this will take time, maybe years to catch Man City. How far behind do you think United are to actually closing the gap on Man City?
22 points. And the second half showed that if they are in their momentum and if they are 3-1 up, that it's almost impossible to keep them away from your own goal, at least for our team.
The squad of players, how many players do you feel that you need, not need, but how long will it take to get back to it?
I'm still the manager of this team for another 10 games in the Premier League and for hopefully a few more games in the Champions League. And it doesn't make sense now to start some speculations about how many players would we need, on which positions would we need them. This is not my issue. It's right now it's about preparing the team for the Tottenham game and after that for a very important game against Atletico in the Champions League. Right now we have to be, and I am happy with the players that we have. This is clear that we lost 2 if not 3 strikers since Christmas. Everybody knows. But again, this is a fact and we have to deal with it. And I'm not complaining about that. So for us it's important to look ahead and make sure that we develop the team, which we have in the last couple of weeks and months. We do not always play against Manchester City. We have other teams, and we showed that against West Ham and against other teams at Leeds that we are capable to win those games. And this is my major job in the next 2.5 months.